Good morning. James just said, "Where is everybody?" And my response to that is, the important people are here. We didn't like those other ones anyway. Okay, welcome to the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. My name's Scott. I'll be your host for a short while. We always start out our services, and welcome Zoomers. We always start out our service with an acknowledgement of the land on which we are located. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. Okay, let's move forward with some music. With that in mind, I'm supposed to do this thing. Donna will lead us in a song.
Please stand. Watch out for the hat.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful day. This beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful friends. My wonderful friends.
It's that little touch at the end that makes the difference. It's the attention to detail. Speaking of attention, please turn off your phones if I didn't already say that. And if I did say it, well, what the heck, I'm old. I get to repeat things. So let's move forward we are going to say the top together, and I'm going to defer to what is actually on the screen today. I know I never do. The difference being on the bottom line where you're going to say, I honor the path that brought you here this morning, the thing that I always like to do, the action I always like to have is for you to get up and meet somebody and say it. Don't just lip service it. Walk up to somebody and say, I honor the path that brought you here this morning. Get to know somebody a little bit. We are a community. We are a family. We are friends. We are. All right, so together we will say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And get up if you can, find somebody else, and honor the path that brought them here today. All right, let's take a look at what we have coming up for the week. But before we do, I've got a couple of other announcements to add in here. Lori, you had something you would like to say? Judy, be careful as you sit down, please.
Good morning, everyone. I know that people with trucks really get tired of asking people to, Donna and Brian, help with truck stuff. But I have a couch that I want to donate, and I need somebody to, I need some muscle to help move it, and a machine to put it in the basement. So if anybody wants to volunteer, please come see me after the service, Donna and Brian.
It's that emphatic ask that she gives, and I go, well, thank you. Okay, we also, speaking of other announcements, we have a welcome kit that you have not seen for a while. For people who are just coming for the first time or who happen to like to randomly walk around town and collect welcome kits from various spiritual centers, we have one, and they're usually in the other room. They're in little bags. It takes somebody to put them together, and so this is an appeal that we need more volunteers. We need people to help. Kathy, are you questioning or are you volunteering? Wonderful. So what we need is we need people to volunteer. That's one way, and Wakanaw, you could teach people how to put the kit together. I think Tiffany helps us sometimes, but Tiffany is down in Sacramento right now. So any other way you can volunteer, we always need greeters and other people to help out. So thank you, Kathy, and you'll get together with Wakanaw, and other people can volunteer also. Let's take a look at... What?
Give any bags away today.
I know, we don't have bags. We need to get bags, you know.
We have stuff if anybody needs it, though.
I hear tell, I'm sure Jeff will catch this one real quickly, Papa's got a brand new bag. Oh, there's enough people who caught that. I didn't think everybody would catch that. Who was it, James Brown? Yeah, it was, okay. All right. Okay, let's move forward with what's coming up this week. There we go. The events coming up this week, I will add one more in there. This Wednesday, which not everybody is invited to, my wife and I will be celebrating 25-year anniversary. Thank you. And anyway, we met at the center when it was over in the other place. But we're having an informal get-together among our family and friends. You are both. And if you would like to show up next Saturday, it's nothing fancy. We're not asking for gifts, but from 3 to 6 next Saturday in the social hall, we will be having a celebration of our 25th anniversary. It's a potluck. But again, we're not asking for gifts or anything. Just be here and share blessings with us and help us enjoy being together for 25 years. My wife is a very patient woman, so as she sits in the back and nods. If you need a reminder, I've got a couple of reminders that we printed out. So that's next Saturday. Other events coming up you can see on the screen. We do want to point out one in particular, which is 5 Wishes. That will be this Tuesday. That's at 10 o'clock. It's on Zoom. It is led by Reverend Diane. Reverend Diane is a brilliant teacher, a wonderful, caring minister. Angelica, myself, and Susan went through a course that she did on grief counseling, which was very, very impactful. We ended up doing it here ourselves at the beginning of this year, and we're hopefully planning to do it again, the latter part of this year. This time it'll be on Zoom. But it is the 5 wishes you want to put together to make sure in the event of something happens to you and you aren't able to express your wishes of how you would like to be treated, this course will guide you through it. It is free, and I'm sure it is. Oh yeah, you do have to email Reverend Diane. And
That address has been in the last week's newsletter, Monday newsletter, and will be in tomorrow.
okay, and as Angelica pointed out, you do have to email Reverend Diane for her to send you a link. And that address has been in the newsletter that Reverend Angelica sends out this last week and will be in the newsletter again tomorrow. Incidentally, if you are not getting the newsletter, please sign up so that you can receive the newsletter. It tells you everything that is the news, and it's in a letter, and hence the clever name we've come up with it, newsletter. But anyway, you get all sorts of information in that. That will be Tuesday. We have also got... Okay, now I know there is something going on with Better Together, but I don't see a slide for it, so will it just show up?
Did I make one and not write it on there? No.
Okay, so I do not...
I'll tell them.
Okay. We have our Better Together group, which is our social group. We'll be meeting on September 26th this next time, and Angelica will fill us in as to what's happening.
I got really excited when I saw this play at NCRT. So we're going to do our normal go to dinner at Chapala's and then go to the play. This is on Friday, September 26th. And this is what it says about this play. It's called The Constitution, which if you have not read it, you should. 15-year-old Heidi earned her college tuition by winning constitutional debate competitions across the country. In this hilarious, hopeful, and achingly human play, adult Heidi resurrects her teenage self to trace the profound relationships between 4 generations of women and the founding document that shaped their lives. Both intensely personal and universally resonant, this acclaimed work invites audiences to reflect on how the Constitution continues to impact our lives today. So, September 26th, join us for Better Together, What the Constitution Means to Me.
Thank you. Sign-up sheet is to my left, over by the lovely and talented Mr. James. And being one of the people who runs that theater, that play actually opens September 6th or September 5th, whatever that Friday night is, and it runs for 4 weeks. It's a very small play. It's three-person cast. Runs about 2 hours. So if you want to go with the Better Together group, that's September 26th. And if enough people sign up, I think it's a minimum of 8. The tickets all drop $2 in price. And okay, let's move forward. Practitioners, if you would like to speak with a practitioner, we have a couple for you. We have Edward, we have myself here today. You can corner us afterward. That came across weird. You can approach us afterwards, cornering us. Well, Edward's a big guy. He'll get out of it, but I'll just fall apart into a little puddle on the floor. But you can come up to us and say, I'd like to talk to you. If you need some counseling, if you just want to talk about the philosophy, if you just want to say hi. This is at the end of every service. The practitioners are available. Again, today, Edward and myself. And our little pantry needs help. We continually feed our community. We do a really wonderful job of it, but it constantly gets depleted. Any food, non-perishable food you can bring is appreciated. You can put it directly into the little pantry. If you want to bring a lot, that is really appreciated. And Walk and Awe is here. Are you still Mondays noon to 4? Mondays noon to 4, and she will break it up into little packages and put it out there for the little pantry. I think that's it for our announcements today, getting through it nice and quickly. Our theme for the month is Navigating Change, and what we're now going to do is Donna is going to lead us in a song. After the song, Edward will come up and give us the moment of peace, and then he will introduce Reverend Angelica. All yours.
It is clear to see how each day may be full of friends for me to learn from. I am one, I am beautiful, I am one, I am joy, I am one with the universe, I am love. And the world may be a discovery of great majesty to learn from. You are one, you are beautiful, you are one, you are joy, you are one with the universe, you are love. And the universe, such a fantasy, full of mystery to learn from. We are one, we are beautiful, we are one, we are joy, we are one with the universe, we are love.
Yay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite people, Donna, from the infamous Donna and Brian duo. Can I have maybe a little lighter light? Because I'm old. Scott and I are both old, and I can't see that great.
Do something for you before you get going. Watch your face.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're a musician, you should know
I
this.
should know this. Good morning, family. How are you? Yeah, one thing I wanted to add to Scott's, what he was saying about the practitioners. I don't want to speak for everybody, but we are not psychologists or psychiatrists, but we are here to help you to see the spiritual principles behind anything that bothers you, and help you figure it out for yourself. A lot of times when you see those spiritual principles, it helps you to resolve your issues. And for me, myself, you can always call the church, get my number, and I'm available over the phone. So, just saying. I was thinking this morning about change, which is our topic, and for the month. And I realized that change sometimes is an internal thing. For me, it's fear. I had a deathly fear of height. And I had a revelation this morning that when I examined that fear, it's not height that I fear, it's human error. So, like when I go on balconies and it's over the third floor, like 5 stories and above, I'm always afraid that the balcony, because it's human made, is going to collapse or whatever. And that brings my fear of heights to realization, as well as I'm not the most steady person anymore as I got older. So mountain climbing and walking on trails, including that bridge over at the zoo, terrifies me, because I'm afraid that I'll fall over. So my topic today, that for anybody new on Zoom or here, we read a little something and then we say an affirmative prayer. Jackson sings us into the prayer and out of the prayer, and then we introduce our speaker, who's the beautiful Reverend Angelica. And my topic today is from a book called The Magic of the Soul, Applying Spiritual Power to Daily Living by Patrick J., I believe it's pronounced Harbala. Don't know why I bought the book, don't know when I bought it, but it's great. And the topic is fear. We can use each and every realization of fear as a reminder to be present in the here and now. We can experience the magic in the moment rather than be controlled by a fear based on the past or future. We can be compassionate toward our fear and recognize that it too is part of our ongoing process of growth. Each realization of fear, each expression, and each release leads us further along our path of realization of the magic of life. Whenever possible, express your fear when you experience it. You will find it often dissolves in the process of identifying it. Certainly, the fear of fear can be more ferocious than fear itself. When we let go of our resistance by being willing to embrace and express it, we affirm that we are stronger than it is. It cannot hurt us. By acknowledging and honoring our fear, we are pulling into the present moment and opened to the magic that we can be experienced in our process of liberation. Eckhart Tolle says this about fear and the power of now. Is fear preventing you from taking action? Acknowledge the fear, watch it, take your attention into it, be fully present with it. Doing so cuts the link between the fear and your thinking. Don't let the fear rise up into your mind. Use the power of the now. Fear cannot prevail against it.
There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one.
In truth, there is only one. We are linked together in this wonderful, marvelous energy that we may express as God or Spirit. It's the fabric of the universe, and we are part of that eternal fabric. When we release our perceptions into this medium, it spreads. Fear is a magnificent part of growth because it does bring your attention and your awareness to things that we need to develop, things that we need to work on, things that we need to notice. I have found that there is nothing to fear but fear itself. And it can be conquered by just changing our perception of it, by embracing it, by bringing it into the now, by examining every aspect of it. Do we realize that there is a spiritual principle behind everything, including fear itself? Once we realize that spiritual principle, we can combat it with love. Because love is that spiritual principle, but that underlies everything. I know that we are in the greatest of hands because we are holding up each other. We are one with God. We are God. We are part of that fabric. Everything that we see, touch, think, feel, experience is God. And we are here to learn to be that, to be God, incarnate in flesh. And I'm grateful for my manifestation here. I'm grateful for the manifestation of each and every one of you, because you are aspects of me. And in you, I see myself. Living different experiences, yes, but all one, all the same. I'm grateful. I place into the laws of the universe, knowing that it is already so. In fact, it has been seen before I even think it. And it is made manifest. And so it is.
There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my reflection. There is only one.
I'd like to welcome to the microphone our one and only super reflection of love itself, our minister, Reverend Angelica.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Zoomers. So here we are, I was reflecting on this. This year, I was reflecting on this year and the fact that it's been all about being on a spiritual journey together. And a few of us went to the conference up in Banff. Banff is so beautiful. I mean, I think we live in a beautiful place, and this is beautiful. That was beautiful as well. But all three of us in the car on the way home were going, we're almost home, because we went through some really hot spots driving back. But this conference was different than any I've been to. Now, I've been a minister for 40 years. So having it be so different was at first rather disconcerting for me. It was like they had great speakers, but after almost every speaker, they did like a little ritual. And part of me at first was kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this. And then as the few days went by, I started getting a lot out of it. Realized, hey, I'm there not just to listen to speeches, but to move along this path that we're all on. Everybody in the world is on this path together. We just don't know it. But one of the things that I thought of is sometimes you set out on a path and you think you're heading in the right direction, and then you realize, oh, somewhere I missed a turn, or you drifted or something. And the moment of recognition, the choice to turn back or adjust, is what I call a conscious course correction, which is the title of my talk this morning. And I had one of those as we were participating in this event. One of the things I realized was why I broke my arm. And, if you've been here long enough, you know me, everything is in consciousness. And so I've been trying to figure out, well, why did I trip over my own feet and end up with a broken arm? Well, what I figured out at the conference was that when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a writer. And that's all I wanted to be. I didn't have any other dreams except for I was going to be a writer. And when I was in Catholic school, I wrote, I'm also a people pleaser, by the way, a recovering people pleaser. In Catholic school, I decided to write a story about a young woman a little girl who has a visitation from Mother Mary. Catholic school, right? Well, the nuns loved it so much, I got to read it to all the different classes, even the high school classes. And that was like, wow, this is awesome. And then a while later, maybe a year or so, I wrote a story and it got published in a children's magazine, Highline, that's what it was, Highline magazine. I was trying to remember that. And, that was such a neat feeling. And, then life happened, and I sort of put the writing away. And of course, I have been doing my Friday messages, which ended up being in a book, a yearly, a daily book to read, which, and that was a wonderful thing to have happen. And then I realized that I hadn't written any Friday messages since June. I understand not writing them since the end of June, which is when I fell, but somehow I stopped. And so my revelation was that, shoulders are like carrying the responsibilities of the world. This is the future world, this is the past world, right? So I'm responsible for this community. I'm responsible for this church. I'm responsible for making sure that we have the education that we need to have and and the inspiration and the empowerment that we need to have. And, the arm, this being my right arm, which I use to write, etc., all of a sudden I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even type on the computer. I've just now started to be able to do that. But it's like I have to lift this arm up and set it down so that I can move my fingers really well. However, if I move my fingers for too long, then the muscles start hurting. But it was really interesting to me to see that we're already a successful community. Yes, I need to keep doing what I do and, teaching classes and getting the practitioners to teach classes and offering the things we can offer, but it's also time for me to stop watching so much TV and create some of my own, some up here and write. So what I realized was that I had a conscious choice correction. This is what this is. And it's not that I failed at anything. And I want us to remember that, because sometimes we think that when we realize that we're going down the path and we veered off, but first let me say something about that path. That path is, each one of us has one, and it's the thing that we're passionate about, particularly when we're young. If we go back and look at what did we really want to do when we were young, somewhere in there was the beginning of that passion. So not doing it is not a failure, but for me, this was an experience of, hey, pay attention here. It was also an experience of humility. I have never had so much attention in my life. I mean, it's really hard for me to say, oh, yes, please bring me something to eat, or, that you cooked, or, oh, thank you for giving me a ride. I mean, at first it was really difficult, and I realized here's another lesson along this path, is to learn how to receive. I don't have to be the strong, independent woman. I can, or the giver. I can accept other people's help. It's still a little hard to do, but I'm learning. So what I realized is that as we're going along our path, there's usually, like if we're on a hike, for instance, there's usually signposts that say, go here, go there, etc. And in our lives, the path of our lives, spirit is the inner trail maker. Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of my favorite female teachers, says, all of your affairs are under the sway of spirit, and you need not be afraid of making mistakes. All of your affairs are under the sway of spirit. And what we're teaching here is that there's only spirit. Each one of us is an expression of the divine energy. It's not that we are the God, but we are a part of the God. We're an expression of God. So even if we wander away from our path, we can stop and we can look around and we can breathe and we can once again realign with divine guidance. If there's any question in our lives that we have about anything, we can pause and look around and realize that the divine within us is creating the divine that's all out here, and we can accept guidance, and guidance will come. I got home from this retreat after having this revelation about being a writer, and get back to it, to find that Hay House, who is the head of Balboa Press, who published my book, they sent me an email. We're ready to publish your second book. Contact us. What? I haven't written it yet. And there were some other things that came through, people saying something or emails that made me go, I got it, God. I got it. I'm supposed to be writing. So then this means that course corrections for us are signposts to pay attention to Spirit's guidance. It doesn't mean that we're lost. It means pay attention to where we're going. So what I was thinking about is that this takes courage. It takes courage to really accept that thing that wants to be expressed through you, and to realize that that's not just some willy-nilly desire that you have. It's the powerful presence of the divine that is saying, hey, you like doing this, do this. So if you're ever along your path, just stop and check. Don't keep wandering. Stop and check. Now, how do you stop and check? You do meditation. I love meditation. I think it works wonders for everything. And I don't think that meditation needs to be where you're sitting cross-legged on a pillow in front of your altar or whatever, though that's fun. But I've had meditations while I'm trimming my roses. I've had meditations pulling weeds. Those are really good because take out that negative thought and that negative thought and that negative thought, right? You can have a meditation any way you want, walking down the street. And I'm going to repeat here that it takes courage to realize that we've veered off the path. It takes courage to stop, to pause, to ask for help, to admit that this isn't necessarily the direction I want to go. Now, just because the universe is telling me to write, it doesn't mean that this center is not the direction that we're going. I can't imagine doing anything else. So you're stuck with me. Dr. Holmes says, and I've used this one over and over again, and I just love it, there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. What if we really believed that? What if we really believed that within us is this power that is greater than anything we could possibly ever imagine, and we can use it? In fact, we are using it, truth is, all the time. Sometimes we're creating things that need adjustments, or mistakes, whatever you want to call them. Sometimes we're creating the big, beautiful things. Sometimes we're just creating smooth pathways, whatever it is. But what I want us to know is that a small conscious shift in attitude, word, or action can bring us back to alignment immediately. Immediately. We don't have to really work at it. I want us to remember that bottom line, it's done unto us as we believe. So if we believe that making a change in the way we're living our lives or in the way we're doing things is hard, the universe goes, yes, my darling, and makes it harder. So we have to remember that. So that's why I'm saying just a little tiny consciousness shift can bring us into alignment. We don't need to blow up something. What I've realized is that life rarely requires giant leaps. What it asks for is steady, faithful steps in the right direction. Dr. Holmes also says, we should never hesitate to make new beginnings, for we are ever at the beginning of an endless opportunity. I love the last part of that sentence. We're forever at the beginning of an endless opportunity. So for each one of us, there's a part of us that thinks, oh, well, I've heard 2 men this morning say, well, I'm old. That's a belief system. Yes, it might be true chronologically. We've been here so many years. I celebrated my 77th birthday in July, but that means I'm on my 78th year, right? So, and when I realized that was kind of like, ooh, oh dear. And your feet aren't as steady when you're older. Your hearing goes when you're older. I now have hearing aids. That was a new thing that came to me too, was realizing if I couldn't see the speaker's face, I couldn't understand what they were saying. And then I was sharing with Lori that, on the drive home, and she says, do you know how many times you say to me, what did you say? And I thought, oh, I better check this out. So I did. Anyway, and that was a vanity thing. You know, I mean, I didn't want to wear hearing aids, but you can't see them. My hair's in the way. My hair also makes little noises when it goes by. But the thing is, though, is that the ones that I bought, there's 4 weeks of 4 lessons of how to use them, etc. And, you know, the company's amazing. It's not Costco. I mean, not that Costco isn't amazing, I'm sure it is, but I found this one online. For some reason it called to me, and it's like every other day one of their people is calling me saying, well, how do they feel, you know, da-da-da-da, what are you experiencing? And boy, it has an app with it, which means you could change it from, you know, being at a concert to direct things to, it's just amazing. Anyway, we should never hesitate to make new beginnings. Trusting the journey. This is my idea right now of a new beginning, is to absolutely trust the journey that we're on. Sometimes our path seems to twist. Sometimes it seems like we have to climb really high. Sometimes it seems like we vanish into a fog. However, we can learn to trust the process one step at a time. And this is what I'm thinking of as we're going through this time of chaos, politically, personally, culturally, etc. Conscious choice corrections mean walking with faith even when the view isn't clear. To keep going, walking in faith. So here's a real metaphysical truth for you. Spirit is the path and the strength in our steps. We got to remember, everything is divine energy, everything. I think that if Ernest Holmes had been alive when quantum physics really came up, he would have just been so excited about it. Because again, everything is energy. And he would have named it divine. So spirit is the path. So I have a couple of questions for you, and I'll put these in the Monday newsletter so that you can think about them more. But you might ask yourself, where in my life might I need to pause and check the path that I'm on? What course correction would bring me back into harmony with spirit? And am I willing to let go of pride or fear and simply turn toward the path of love? That idea of fear. You know, I think it was in the Course in Miracles said there's only 2 emotions, love and fear. And we think of love a lot of times as being the love between people. And yet there's a greater love, that, you know, the love of, well, I think of love and I immediately think of my cats, you know. But there's this greater energy that's called love that isn't attached to people. It's this divine love. Divine law and infinite intelligence is what this energy is that we're using all the time, that we're made of, that we are. So are we willing to let go of fear and move in the direction that this energy is pointing us? So I have an affirmation for you. I'm going to read it, and then I'll read the lines separately so you can repeat it after me, all right? So here, I am awake, aware, and guided. With each conscious course correction, I walk the path of spirit in peace, clarity, and joy. I am awake, aware, and guided. With each conscious course correction, I walk the path of spirit in peace, clarity, and joy. I know that this is our truth. I know that as we begin to believe that our path is a divine path, that we're all divine beings, that we'll begin to see the face of God absolutely everywhere. We'll begin to see the results of the divine energy absolutely everywhere. And so I think we have something to celebrate because of that. The more open we are to it, the more life gives us things to be grateful for, things to be, things to appreciate. And I know that that's the life we want to be living, where we're walking in gratitude, where we're walking in appreciation, where we feel love and we're loving out in the world. So let's go into treatment. Gratefully, I acknowledge that there is only one power, one presence, one life. And this oneness we call divine. And we recognize that it is absolutely everywhere. It's within us, it's all around us, it's in everything, animate and inanimate. All there is the one. So I know for each one of us that as we walk into our week, that we allow ourselves to start noticing our path, and we start noticing it by being grateful. Grateful for absolutely everything that's in our life. And as we allow ourselves to pay attention to the beauty of this world, to all the things that there are to be grateful for, the whole universe responds and gives us even more. So first we start with our own bodies, and we recognize how amazing these bodies are. That a bone can knit itself back together even stronger than it was before. That organs can repair themselves. That this body has been a really good house for the divine as we experience this dimension. And then we look outside of ourselves and we're grateful for all the other bodies that there are. All the opportunities to love, to be grateful. And we look at this beautiful planet and we see all the plants, the animals, the insects, the birds, and we recognize that this too is the one in magnificent expression. Yes, even the weeds. And so we celebrate this. And I know right now that we can allow ourselves to see this love spread around this planet, this divine energy of love, spread around the planet, nurturing it and blessing it and all upon it. And we let go of anything that is keeping us from feeling this feeling of gratitude, of love. And we allow ourselves to make those little conscious course corrections whenever they come up. And I know that they, from this point on, can be just little ones. We don't need a big one. And so we celebrate life, that life with a capital L, and know that it is for us. And so we allow ourselves to be for it. And I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they are already so, and so it is. Jeff is our musician this morning. Let's give him a hand.
Speaking of Repetition. We call it a spiritual practice because we repeat it. When we exercise, we repeat. It builds something. It's good to repeat. Shampoo bottles, what does it say? Lather, rinse, repeat. It never tells you when to stop. You just keep going. Well, this song, I've made a habit of, I don't know for how many years, of playing it here at least once a year. And here we are, the end of August. I last did this last October here. And here it is.
I hope this makes sense, Jeff. You give that guitar a voice. Yeah, that's just beautiful. All right, as we get to the last part of our service, Angelica, thank you for the talk. I've had two comments about your talk. First of all, being one of the two men who referred to himself as old, it was kind of easy to guess who we were talking about. I think being old is a gift, and a lot of people don't get a chance to celebrate it. I mean, if we're here on this journey, we might as well celebrate every second. And there's a quote what was the quote that said, growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional. And it's accredited to either Walt Disney or a baseball coach named Chili Davis. They don't know who. When I was just looking. They're what? We're the same age as God. We're the same age as God. Well, we all are. Yeah, I know. And then regarding the hearing aids, welcome to my world. It was funny because as you were talking about that and you had us do the affirmation, I had to ask my wife what you said, because what I heard is you had said, I am awake, aware, and what was the third part to the affirmation, if somebody can remember that? Whatever it was, what I heard was, I am awake, aware, and dining. And I thought, wow, there's food involved in it. It was guided. It was guided, yeah. I was like, wow, how does she bring food into that? I am awake, aware, and dining. So my hearing aids apparently need some adjustment. Okay, let's move forward and share our gifts. There are going to be some plates that are going to go around. Amy's got one and Mark has another. Please put into it whatever you can, and always, always, always put in intentions and put in love. And to that, we will first say, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. And the band plays on. I was in no hurry to bring them up. And how often do you go to a center where Ozzy Osbourne is the music? That was Black Sabbath, wasn't it?
Queen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Freddie Mercury.
I was thinking of, what was that? Iron Man is what I was thinking of.
Oh, here we go. That's Ozzy Osbourne.
That was close. Queen and Ozzy Osbourne, our entertainment at the Center for Spiritual Living. We've come a long way from some of those hymns. Okay, if you move forward, please. Gratefully, we acknowledge that these gifts are simply energy with thoughts and love attached to them that are about to go forth through the center into our community, into the state, and into the world, which is so badly needing of this love and joy. And we release these thoughts, this energy, into the universal law of mind, knowing it is happening and improving everyone it touches, and even those who are not aware of it. And with gratitude we say, and so it is. Thank you. Okay, let's move forward. I always kind of rearrange the last couple of slides because I think it just flows a little differently. We're going to have the statement of inclusion, and I'm going to need a volunteer who will read that in just a moment. But we do have a couple of moments for demonstrations. If you are new to our service or you just don't remember, a demonstration, the way our philosophy basically works is we're all energy. We're all one combined thought. We put something into that one energy, the universal mind as we call it, some people call it God, and it comes back to us multiplied because that's all it knows how to do, is just take what we put into it and put it back, and then it manifests in this plane. So we think of something, we believe it, and it happens. And I'm going to go out on a limb and start with the first demonstration of something that's happening at our house, knowing that it's going to continue. We have 2 cats and a dog. And the dog will eat anything. Good Lord, the dog will eat anything. The cats are a little bit more fussy. One of the cats is, his name is Hobbs, will hardly eat anything. He has to scout around it, make sure it's all safe, nobody's going to jump on him. And for the last year or so, he's been unfortunately throwing up a lot. And we've taken him to the vet repeatedly. My wife, who is not a vet but could certainly play one on TV with all she's learned, we've tried supplements. When we are serving him these days, it's like a scene from Breaking Bad and we're Walter White. You know, we're putting all these little chemicals in it, and do you have this and do you have that? And nothing has seemed to work. And then unfortunately, we got back some results that said he might have a form of cancer. So the tests to find that out for sure are very invasive, and we've decided, no, we're not going to do that. We are just going to treat him in the medical sense. And I finally decided to get smart. I'm a practitioner. Write a treatment for him. So he and I, the cat and I, sat there on the couch, and I wrote a treatment, making sure he was okay with it. Hobbs, so here's what's going to happen. The next day, he started eating. Now, he's had one setback since then, which was almost a week ago. But he is now like eating, and I don't mean like his approach to it is this. We put it down. Of course, there's the medicine, which he won't eat, but that's an aside. He eats his whole plate full of food. He used to eat 6 times a day. That was a mistake. We've brought him down to 4, but he's eating again. And the only thing that has changed is I've now written, I think it's 3 treatments for him. I think we wrote one a while ago and 2 more. So that's our demonstration, is by writing this treatment for Hobbs, he is eating. And I was a little nervous to put it out there because, you don't want to jinx it. But that's our philosophy. You put it out. And so now you are all seeing Hobbs healthy and happy. And when someday, if you ever meet him, you will see that he actually eats. So that's my demonstration for us today. And that will continue. Now, if anybody else has a demonstration, look at all the demonstrations coming forth. We'll close with yours, Angelica. But let's have Carol come first, and then we have Olivia.
I think I'm okay, Anna, right? My voice, you can hear me? Okay, great. Okay, so 4 months ago, I got a rash. And so it was like on my leg, and then pretty soon little spots started to appear, and little white spots, and, not a lot, but it was like all in my hands, and it was just when we were doing Twice Nice. I was so embarrassed because I'm like, I have all these little spots in my hand. And Lorna, who isn't here, was so sweet. I go, I'm so embarrassed, because I had to have Band-Aids, on top of them, because I didn't want anybody to see them. So at Twice Nice, Lorna just took off one of her gloves and gave it to me. It's like, oh, that was so nice. It was like I wasn't embarrassed anymore. But after Twice Nice, I'm going, I went to a dermatologist. They actually gave an appointment a day after I called him, which was great. Amazing in that. But she didn't know what it was, and she didn't want to do any tests. It was like it could be a million other things. So she goes, here, take this cream. It's like a sample that they had gotten, Okay, she goes, if it doesn't work, here's a prescription, take this. Okay, so I'm like, I'm really trying to do this, their way. And so I kept putting it on, and it's like, okay, it looked like it might be working. Pretty soon, where the little spots had been, new little spots came up under the place. And it's like, this is not working. So let's go get the prescription, James. So got the prescription. It's a steroid. And I'm like, I started, I don't take medication, so I have no idea what these things are. So I'm, looking up on the web, and it's like, it looked like that wants to suppress your immune system. And to me, it didn't make sense. Why do I want to suppress my immune system that's trying to get rid of this stuff inside of me? So I didn't take it. But pretty soon my face started to swell. Other parts of my body started to swell. I'm going, this isn't working. Okay, what's the alternative? Emergency room. They're not going to know what it is either. What are they going to do? It can be a million things, these little rash things, or bumps, or whatever they are. So I could have gone to a dermatologist down in San Francisco. Didn't really want to do that. And my whole life, up until I was 40, whenever I used to fast for 10 days at a time on water, a lot, when I was young. And then and whenever something would come up, like I'd get a cold, something, anything, I would stop eating and it would go away. I just thought, well, It's something in my body that needs to get out, and it didn't get out the normal way, so it's just popping out. So I'm like, my little brain, but I hadn't been able to fast for about 10 years. I had tried when I was 70, but it's like, I thought, oh, well, I must be older. It's like it was too hard for me. It was too hard on my body. I was like, it wasn't good. So I thought, well, I'm too old. But all of a sudden, Spirit was coming through fast. Okay. And I also read you should take charcoal if you have some poisoning. They give it to you in the hospital, in the emergency room, because it gets stuff out. So I had charcoal, so I took it. And then usually you fast just on water. It's like, it's a pretty strict deal. And James had his spirit come through him and go, take the charcoal when you're fasting. It made all the difference. It was a breeze. 5 days, no water, just my charcoal. And I didn't get fevers, I didn't get anything, I didn't feel bad. I was like, it was amazing. And it went away. But, and that's fine. I went back to the dermatologist and she was just like flabbergasted. And so I described it to her. Well, it came back 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Okay, I got rid of it for 4 months. Now what? You know, it's coming back. But after 2 days, it was like little teeny, bumps this time, not a rash. There's some little teeny bumps in a couple different places. But I knew, and it felt like my face was swelling by the second day when I looked in the mirror. And, okay, I gotta fast again. So I fasted again. I didn't want to do it, but I did. I was like, what was my alternative? I didn't know the alternative. The dermatologist didn't seem to be helping. So I did again, this time for 3 3/4 days on water. And it went away again. And I'm so grateful. The first time I was just in tears. I am so grateful that Spirit guided us and Spirit's helped and the kitties helped. Our new kittens sat on the bed with me and our older cat sat, during the night, would be really close. I think they really know when we need help. Thanks.
Thank you, Carol. Olivia, you have a short demonstration for us? Okay.
There's a cat in our neighborhood that didn't have a place to live. Their people were leaving him behind because they were going to an apartment and they didn't have outside area for him, and he's a mostly outside cat. And so I decided to take him and feed him, and I built him a shelter in the backyard, like all rain-proof and wind-proof, and I feed him every morning, and he's got his little cat hotel in the backyard. And he's really happy. It's been working out.
There's actually a name for those. They're called catios. And some of them are really elaborate. They're like houses. Okay, Angelica, do you know how to do this?
No.
Okay.
So Jack Kinnear emailed me a few days ago and said that one of his favorite cats, named Rosetta, had been gone for quite a while, and he'd gone all over the neighborhood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And could we please treat for him? So I emailed the practitioners, and I sat down and did a treatment myself. The very next day, that cat was home. It had been gone 9 days. And they found it next door.
We seem to have a theme in the demonstrations this week. What was that song when my sons were kids? The cat came back the very next day. We thought he was a goner, but the cat came. Anyway. All right, who would like to do our community statement of inclusion? You come up here, you read what we have here. It is also on the screen, and then Donna will sing us out with the peace song. Do we have a volunteer to do the community statement of inclusion? All right, Kathy.
Okay. We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates for people with human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so that we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. We know that our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
Thank you, Kathy. As we join a circle around the room, I want to remind you, Brian and I brought in some fresh kale and tomatoes. Brian is the tomato king in our neighborhood. And I have tons of kale at home if you want lots of kale. Okay. I got you. Thank you. Good job on the circle.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.